It's so good to see you all again. Tarot curious, tarot lovers, welcome. Today we see the Fool again on his journey. And how is he going to be helped on his soul's path? He is going to be helped now by the Hanged Man. Remember now, he left Justice and is on his way with the information from Justice, and he runs across the Hanged Man. What is he going to learn here? Let's find out. I'm really excited about this card, and I have to tell you why. This card is associated with Pisces, Neptune, and water. And as an artist and a Pisces sun sign, I totally identify with this. In fact, if you look up birth cards, you will find that a couple of major arcana cards connect to your birthday, and this happens to be one of my birth cards. So I have a tie there as well. And being as you are here, I'm assuming you love to do art and are artists yourself, because we are in the process of thinking of images that we could use to make our own card for each of these major arcanas that I've been showing you. Minor arcana to come later. One thing at a time, right? So I connect with this card in a big way, and I'm hoping that you too will connect with this card. There are so many aspects to this card that you might connect with stronger than others. So I want you to look carefully at this card, and through introspection and studying this card, you will connect with aspects. And I want you to pay attention. Let your intuition and your memory recall guide you through this session. And feel free to pause the video as needed to help you find your way back. I have time codes set up in the video description notes. So connecting to a card using your intuition and studying it visually, or thinking about the meaning and seeing what visions come into your mind related to the card's general meaning. So, journal prompt. Look at this particular card and write words that surface in your mind. Look at the position of the figure, the colors that you see, the expression on the face, and the general feeling of the card. Imagine hanging by your foot. How is it different or the same from what this image suggests? What message does this card bring to mind for you? Have you ever felt stuck like this? Write about that as inspired. Here are some symbolic concepts you might consider when designing your tarot card. The Hanged Man or Hanged One is pure water energy, Neptune and Pisces. That means emotion, fantasy, imagination, and visionary art, and believe it or not, rebirth. The energy of the Hanged Man, like the planet Neptune, is associated with dreams and prayer and meditation. It is associated with deep secret knowledge. Also, like Neptune, its association with Pisces energy includes psychic illusions or messages. So when overwhelmed by this Pisces and Neptune energy of psychic messages, there could be a temptation to blunt those perceptions with drinking or drugs. So that is a dark side for this. Journal prompt. What aspect of Neptune and water association with this card can you connect to your own life story? Have you ever launched creative projects, creative thoughts for your benefit? So thoughts or projects. In what situation did you suddenly come up with an out of ordinary, different idea? So giving birth to creative thought is often done by seeing things from a fresh new angle. How does this relate to your creative process? One thought that comes to mind is necessity is the mother of invention. And can't say who first said that, but I often feel that a lot of times when we're stuck, it creates some kind of a push to make us think differently. In the Kabbalah, this card has the energy of watery birth in female energy and also fire of male energy. So that's the action part. The living tree he's hanging from is the shape of the Hebrew letter, the T shape. It means the mark of God. And so he is being made sacred by hanging and allowing the divine to work through him. God is a creator, and so we, made in the image of God, are creators as well. It is considered an important stepping stone toward greater enlightenment, akin to Jesus on the cross or rebirth or baptism. It's a sort of element of passage. The position of the hanged man seems like it would hurt, but at the same time, there is no look of panic or worry on this face. In fact, there is a halo of bliss. So it's a picture of being still and knowing. Journal prompt. How do you use your time when you get stuck? While you're feeling stuck, what have you discovered about yourself or your situation? Have you found it helpful for you to plan or create better plans in this position of waiting? Some history with this card. In the 14th century, being suspended like this was considered a form of public punishment, a shaming perhaps for some misdeed. In the card image, the hanged man has a halo around his head, perhaps a sign of innocence being punished. Journal prompt. Are there times when you have felt blamed for something that was not your fault? What did you learn about yourself and your growing resilience through adversity? In this old understanding of this image, the hanged man tells a story opposite of that of justice, card 11. Remember, card 11 was about seeing every side to a story and finding what was justice. However, in this situation, if somebody is being unfairly punished, that would not be justice. So how do you feel there is a relationship, and how do you feel that relationship connects for you in regard to justice, card 11, and hanged one, card 12? In modern tarot, the hanged one has come to represent a time to pause and reflect and perhaps learn through adversity. And it's perhaps a martyrdom of waiting too, of acceptance of things outside of our control, even when it looks like you're doing nothing, hanging upside down, waiting, being still. Science tells us that our brains are creating complex, abstract algorithms uh, calculations of phenomenal proportions to resolve environmental situations. So in other words, we're thinking, even when it looks like we're doing nothing. But our brains are amazing thought processes that science is yet to uncover entirely. And yet there is definitely a link to the spiritual element that is just now getting some recognition. Waiting is often difficult. As a child once told me, I am allergic to waiting, but sometimes the timing is not right. And sometimes everything needs to be reconsidered because everything changes. Nothing is static. Timing is everything. So waiting for the appropriate time is critical in many situations. In a tarot reading, the major arcana card usually suggests that whatever the question was, now is the time to stop and focus instead on curiosity, intuition, observation, and then reconsider action you would take. Not only that, but waiting from an upside down position gives a different perspective. By viewing things differently, perhaps you discover a secret knowledge you have yet to unlock. We've covered a lot of ground with this deeply spiritual card of contemplation. Take a moment now to sit quietly in a chair and with feet on the floor, feel the weight of your body as you take some long, slow, cleansing breaths. Pull in the energy of the hanged one or the hanged man. Think back to aspects of this card that most resonated with you. Feel the energy of acceptance. And a desire to experience new ideas. Awaken in your spirit, mind, and body, and breathe out what no longer serves you. After some cleansing breaths, just sit and thank yourself. Thank yourself for this practice of connecting to the hanged man and following the fool on his journey. As you quietly come back into your awareness, consider the expansion these cards are providing as you connect with your own empowering life story. My goal is to demystify the tarot. You don't need to know every bit of data on the cards. Just connect with them using your own life story and your intuition, and then they will be good friends and lifelong helpers. Making an image of your card, of your own card, will help you connect more fully with the tarot. You see, each image made by you is like a map to your memory of your meaning of that card. And I highly recommend working on getting the hanged man captured in a very unique way. I have posted a link to a friend of mine's website. She's a poet named Tanya, and she has used this card to inspire her in her creative work. And she's also an artist, of course, and making her own tarot cards. I'd love for you to see her images in color pencil. So they're beautiful, abstract, but highly intuitive, and there are so many ways to, hers is one of many ways to how to approach this topic of making your own cards. So I hope you come back, and next time the Fool will meet the card called Death. The meaning of death is change or transition, which puts it in a more soul expansion definition. Events outside of control are hampering our path, and yet maybe not so. Maybe by hampering our path in a sudden way, we have enlightenment in a whole new direction. So to learn more, I hope to see you next week when we discover the value of this card in a tarot reading. And I want you to think about imagery you would like to connect with this card. Thank you so much. I appreciate you on this journey with me and the Fool. Blessed be, and Namaste.